Hi Cancer, it's Rebecca from Being Human Tarot here with your April 2019 reading. This month I'm reading with the Smith-Rider-Waite, going back to basics just because I'm kind of feeling the deck and the colors of it lately. It's got a lot of yellow in it, obviously I'm feeling that. So just thinking about spring and stuff. And I'm gonna jump right into your reading. As a reminder, I do a 3-card spread, and I've already shuffled, laid out your cards. So in your first position of what to focus on this month, you drew the Magician reversed. So the Magician reversed, it's also a great example of one of the brighter yellow cards, is it seems like this month you're having a bit of difficulty really focusing on and getting the things done that you want to be accomplishing. And that's pretty broad because it can be, it's a major arcana card. It's not quite as narrowed in as a lot of the minors are. So, but I mean, there's a lot of Cancers out there. I'm sure that you know what makes sense in your life in terms of the things that you've not been able to get done. And so this is now a month to really examine that, because my guess is it's something that's been going on for more than, just this month. It's not like it's something that suddenly appeared. It's been an ongoing thing. And now is the time that the cards are kind of saying is the good time to actually process this and assess it and ask yourself, if I'm in a slump in some particular area, what could I do to get out of it? And I mean, I'm not even going to give an example for that because depending on what it is you're personally going through, there's such variation. But okay, I will try to give somewhat of an example. I know that I write creatively just like for myself. And sometimes when I've not been writing for a long time, I can find it really inspirational to do a bit of reading, similar-ish, like genre-ish to the kind of writing that I do. And then when I am really inspired by, these other writers, it makes me want to write more. So that's like one example of how I could kind of try to work on pulling myself out of a funk if I got writer's block or just wasn't feeling it lately. It doesn't always work, but there are little steps that we can do for ourselves to try to get ourselves back on track if we start to slide and making the things happen that we want to happen. Sorry, I got a little bit of background noise because the parrot. In your position of what to set aside, you drew the Page of Wands reversed. And this card being in your set aside actually makes me think that whatever you're blocked with in the Magician is actually creative, because the Wands is a creative suit. Here we have the Page of Wands upside down. The Page is the youngest of the court. So we think of someone who, I guess they assign actual ages to them and some of them, but just think of it as the younger person, like the teenager, if you will, the adolescent kind of person. And the reason why there are ages assigned is because you can kind of like think of the Page as having a certain type of youthful energy. And so some would describe it as naivete, but there's power in naivete because when you don't have the experience to be afraid of something, you take like much deeper risks, right? And anyway, all that is to say that the Page of Wands brings this particular kind of like youthful, creative energy that, with it reversed and in your set aside, it's actually kind of acting as a double negative. And so what the cards are telling you to do is to pay attention to that, into that kind of like frequency, that youthful frequency in your own life, to kind of like get your magician, I was gonna say juices going, but that expression kind of grosses me out, so I'm not going to, but I just did, so. Yeah, so set aside your reluctance or your hesitation, especially if it's fear-based, like, oh, I don't want to do blank because, you know, maybe it won't be popular, and then, like, I'll be embarrassed, or it won't be successful. Like, just push yourself a little bit. Try to go back to when you were less afraid and just more kind of excited by life. And these are overgeneralizations. Maybe you're someone who does perfectly well taking risks. But, you know, as a guideline. In your position of additional consideration, you drew the Four of Wands. Another very, very yellow card. And so actually the Four of Wands has come up for a lot of signs this month, and so I think there's something to be said about that. Maybe it's also kind of like spring, you know, people are getting out a little bit more, socializing a little bit more. This is a very springy looking landscape. But anyway, in your position of additional consideration with these other placements, I really think you're going to find some inspiration to whatever's blocking you around other people and in social gatherings. Sorry, he's hard. Anyway, I won't complain about him on video extensively, but particularly celebrations. So if you're finding yourself invited to a wedding or invited to someone's graduation or something like that, events like that are really going to energize you and kind of like remind you about your own priorities and goals, and hopefully help you tap into getting yourself more in line with where you want to be and what you want to be doing. So that's your reading for the month, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed it and that there wasn't too much background noise. If you did find it useful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I upload videos before the 1st of every month, and if you hit the bell icon after subscribing, you'll be automatically notified as soon as I do that. So that's it. I hope you have a wonderful, wow, I'm really having like a lot of word slips. I hope you have a wonderful April and that I see you in May. Okay, bye, Cancer.